You've seen the Great Moyes Debate 1. Well, this is the Great Moyes Debate 2, Return of the Bobbins, and we won't focus solely on David Moyes this evening. I am joined by ESPN and Independent on Sunday journalist Miguel, beard lover, surgeon and MUFC fan Joshi, and Adam. Just Adam. Adam, last time you were on and we did this, you said you would never turn your back on the manager. After everything that has happened over the last few weeks, do you agree with that? Said a man for a very slow horse.
First of all, Sam, I didn't say that.
Well, you did.
It's a myth, yeah?
It's on the internet.
I've been reading all the comments on YouTube like, Adam, when are you going to change to Moyes out, Moyes out, Moyes out? Like, I'm not and have not been one of these people that have said, Moyes in, Moyes in, Moyes in. I have been a person that has totally looked at it and said, like when AVB got sacked, I was of the opinion that he deserved more time at Tottenham, that he deserved time to build his team. He just spent X amount of money and he deserved time to build that and see it through. But at the moment, and as the season's gradually progressed from a bad start to an awful season, the worst we've had in the Premier League era, and no, football didn't start in '92, so don't even say that comment. Since it's just gone on, it's like, I just keep losing heart and I'm losing faith in the manager. That's not to say I'm going to go to Old Trafford on Saturday with a huge banner, Moyes out. But what it is I'm starting to think he's not the man for the job and for the man to take us forward. Yeah. Because I don't believe he's got enough fear or respect from the players.
What I'm hearing is that last time you did say, I mean, that's just a fact, you can check it on the video, you did say, I will never turn my back. And what I'm hearing is a load of waffle to defend that you have in fact turned your back on the manager. Joshi, nailed. How do you feel?
How do I feel about Moyes? At the end of the day, I've always maintained the same stance. He's never had the CV for the job. He's never been sort of someone that you look at and you go, okay, well, Ferguson may retire soon, and you go, yeah, he's the man. He's got all the credentials. And unfortunately, it's happening. What I predicted at the beginning of the season, in fact, I predicted it in 2012, when I first started on Twitter, I was saying, look, everyone's talking about Moyes, but why are they talking about Moyes? What are his credentials? What is it about him that makes him a suitable man to come into an elite club like Manchester United? He's not an elite manager. He's managed at Everton. Yeah, he did a really good job there. He's a good manager, but we're not just a good club. We're an elite club. There's probably 4 in the world where you'd say Barca, Real Madrid, Bayern, Manchester United are true elite clubs on that top level, and he's not on that top level. And at the end of the day, I've got to the stage where I've sort of accepted it. I'm sort of down the line in the whole grieving process about this whole season, compared to other fans who've sort of been, Moyes was chosen by Fergie, we've got to get behind him kind of thing, and he's the right man. So I'm less, less saddened compared to Adam, because I'm less emotionally invested in Moyes.
I'm not sad because David Moyes is like not showing he's good enough for the Manchester United job. I'm sad because I've just seen us get banged by City 3-0. I've just seen us lose against Liverpool 3-0. And I've sat there and watched Manchester United play with no heart, no anything, not seem like they're bothered, not seem like they're scared to go into that dressing room at half-time when we're 1-0, 2-0 down against some of our worst rivals. And obviously that comes from the manager, and that's the main thing that's really, he's telling us to wait till the summer, he's got plans. You've got the champions sitting in your dressing room, and you've not even managed to get them in the top 4. What are you thinking?
I'm really scared as to what he'd do with 150 million. Now, Miguel, you are not a Manchester United fan, we will stress, but you are a journalist. Dodgy. Keep your phones hidden, boys. I'll hack them in no time. Right. What is the view from outside Manchester United, from other football fans, of David Moyes?
From other football fans and from the reactions you get, even anytime you write anything on Moyes, it is amazing the amount of Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, City fans say, we want him to stay in the job. Which probably says an awful lot. You mentioned kind of the emotion. Like Joshi, when he first got the job, I wrote, I didn't think he had the personality to directly replace Ferguson, and I don't think he has the ability to take on a job like that. But I think I did feel that maybe he could evolve, that at the very least he might get them into an Arsenal situation where they're kind of thereabouts to the Champions League and not directly competing. But I've still been stunned at how bad it's been sometimes. I mean, it's been amazing. But I think the biggest indictment of all is now none of that is a surprise. I mean, if you look at the season, like I was kind of counting this up last week, they've gone through this strange triptych of disaster, encouragement against a moderate or bad team, followed by an even greater disaster than the last one. And I think last night against City was the 9th time that pattern has happened. And now, look what's going to happen next week. Villa on Saturday, Bayern in the Champions League.
Yeah, lovely. Easy. So, next question for you is, other managers at this point in their career, especially at clubs the size of Manchester United, I mean, the other big clubs in English football, even, you know, Tottenham, clubs like that are doing this badly, because there's no point pretending results have been anything but horrific. There would be pictures of their heads coming out of sacks on the back of the papers, and they would be being
Cracked crests.
Yeah, and people would be calling for their heads. That hasn't happened with David Moyes. Why are the papers giving him more time? Is it because at Manchester United there's a culture with the fans to say he's our manager, we will stick by him? Or is it because the papers say he's a British manager, so we'll give him a chance?
I think there's maybe an element of all of that. I think the biggest one is because of how complex the situation is, and because really there's never been a situation to compare to it since basically Busby left at the end of the 60s. And no other English job, no other European job has really seen this, or no other top European job, where a man has left after such a long time. So it's a little bit hard to gauge exactly how much he is at fault. I think that's why a lot of the papers have cut him slack, that we haven't seen the same degree of criticism, but I think that's starting to end now, because it's becoming apparent that even if he did have a lot of problems that were outside his control, I think he has exacerbated those issues. And if even you look at some of the commentary from some of the Manchester pack in particular last night, it was beginning to tip over.
Interesting. Joshy, you told me off camera that you didn't feel too bad about losing, because ultimately that should lead to David Moyes going through the exit door. Do you think other fans feel that way? Can you explain why you feel that way?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's along the lines of, you know, understanding what's going on and really accepting it, as opposed to wanting it to happen, if that makes sense. So I've got to a stage where, you know, we're not doing well. I don't see it improving under David Moyes. You know, as much as people want him to do well, it's not going to get better, and that's my personal view on it. And there are going to be other fans that feel that way as well. But I just think, because I've always maintained that he just isn't good enough for the job and never has been, I've probably got to that acceptance stage a lot quicker. So whilst I'm hurting during the game last night, today I'm sort of a lot more reflective about it, and I can just see, okay, fair enough, we lost, but it was down to him, and eventually these will lead to him going, and we will move forward as a club, as a whole. And that, I mean, that's where I am. It's more of an acceptance thing than I want this to sort of go down that road.
Very good, very good. Now that's the end of part one. Part two is all about the fans and our role in all of this mess of a season. If the link is on your screen, click on it now. If not, go to www.youtube.com/FullTimeDEVILS now.
I won't go to Old Trafford and boo, even though I understand objectively and logically speaking, if we as fans want to contribute and be responsible, or at least try and influence things, yeah, we need to be more vocal within the stadium.